Hall. This is Rhode Island Bureau Chief Wendy London.
The Managing Director of Paragon Trust Company and tax and private client practitioner joins us to bring a common sense approach to money in a world of total insanity. Let's welcome Tony D'Angelo.
All right, my good pal Tony D joins us every Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel, to work his magic and shed some light more often than not on some of the unscrupulous things our governor is doing. Tony, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, and proud to be among you. I hope everybody had a good weekend.
So before you get into what you want to get into, I must say this, and I was just briefly telling you about this off the air. If you have Atlantic Broadband, and I don't know if Marty uploads this stuff onto a different platform, Marty Olson that is, but Tony was a guest on Marty Olson's television show on Atlantic Broadband Channel 25. It's a must-watch. I mean, I even learned some stuff about you, Tony, so well done by Marty, well done by you. I just wanted to give you kudos.
Well, he's such an interesting man and so easy to talk to, and we could have gone on for like 3 hours, but I really appreciate Marty for giving me the opportunity.
All right, you want to talk about truthfulness? What is that?
Well, yeah, apropos of your excellent monologue about what's real, what's fake, what's a vaccine, what's a virus. It dawned on me last night, as many things often do, because things do dawn on me because I'm such a hardhead. We're at an important milestone, Lee Elci. You know what that milestone is? We're coming up on a one-year anniversary. We're at the one-year anniversary where our governor, Ned Lamont, said that he would take the SEMA-4 profits and give them to charity.
Oh, that's right.
Have we heard a blessed thing about that? Now, my question to the governor is, I don't know how the Peasers people feel about that and the SPAC people, because obviously they're inflating these profits to sell these equities into these pension funds. But I just wanted to put him in remembrance for his charitable deeds and his truthfulness and honesty and transparency and, stuff that we need. But speaking of that, I started a little thing this past week, which I'll continue, called Remedial Tips in Government. I mean, when you look to see what's happening, and you can't make light of it. I mean, some of these things, like expunging criminal records and the whole thing with the vaccine and the children and all that is, I mean, they're just horrible. But I use humor to cope. Other people might use, pills or alcohol. I mean, for me, it's humor and prayer has been, my staple, and that doesn't make me better or worse than anybody else. But some of the remedial government things that are so obvious that we just don't do, like this thing of hand $1,000 to people that'll work. Well, what about giving me a tax credit for a job I create, and I might create a few jobs, and then there's an incentive for me to do that? No, we don't think that. Plus, there's also a financial incentive for the governor because somehow his financial processing companies are going to get involved with that. I actually had a fight with somebody who said they were a conservative because I said that why don't we have a probate system like they have in New York where it's one court per county? Why do we have to have these myriad courts? Yeah, we're down from a court in every single town, which is entirely ridiculous and right with fraud. And they said, no, we need more courts. It's like, why do political people think that politics is a solution to everything? But again, it dawned on me. Again, things hit my head in weird ways. The biggest thing is, with all our technology today, and you don't even need great technology, why can't I, as a Connecticut citizen, go onto a website for any person who's a state executive, for any person who's in state government or executive branch or whatever, punch up, hit a button, and find out exactly what their business and personal and financial arrangements are with people in the state. I mean, this has been the biggest single elephant in the living room since time immemorial. We know there are people in both parties with major drags into that. Listen, you don't even have to ask me. Look it up. But it's like we're never going to get to where we can fix this thing until we start to do, as Mike Wallace used to say, warts and all. So simple, so easy to do, and nobody wants to do it.
I love this idea, and I'm shocked.
So simple.
Oh, I mean, the idea that you could have some transparency, Tony, is to home run on all levels for all accounts. And you know what? If you're an honest politician, you should want to do that. You should want to have a website where you can find out my business dealings or lack thereof. That would be something that I would welcome.
Yeah, I mean, quote unquote, public service, right? What is public service?
Right.
Again, remedial tips in government. But, and I, listen, I could say a whole lot more about that. I'm sure I will in the days to come. And, thank you for giving me the opportunity. But when we live in this morass of, controlled press and spin doctors and people not being honest and, people and, political parties playing snake in the box, Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, I know that you know that I know that you know that you know that I know that there's a snake in that box. This is Connecticut government.
Right.
Something dawned on me, which was so obvious to the point where I was ashamed of myself, that I don't know how I didn't see it sooner. I mean, the only thing I could say is I saw it before anybody in government saw it, or at least was willing to admit. There's somebody had asked me on Sunday night. It's funny because our friends and our fans will come to me like I work for them and say, "Tony, take a look into this, and I want you to tell me what your findings are." Yeah, great. I'll do it. And the thing is, I mean, it's great show fodder. I mean, I have hundreds of people I'm responsible for who are paying my rent. I have to get to them first. But basically, there's some business here with public housing. Public housing is curious. I mean, public housing, number one, it's a money machine. I mean, because it's, you have guaranteed rents and guaranteed benefits and things like that. And, it is profitable, the privatization of public housing. But there is some commonality when people get very myopic with me. So what are you talking about Peasers for? What are you talking about? We want to talk about local things, and they don't get the fact that this is metastasized. This is bigger than anything that our little state has. There is something called, there's a Lamont equity called Unite Us. What a cool name. And they do database coordination for public housing. And my first thing is, are they stupid enough to actually put something in the state of Connecticut to, that this is like something they're running? Well, Unite Us is a public company. It's not a nonprofit, but you can look it up, kids. Unite Us Connecticut. It's being run by the Connecticut Hospital Association. Very clever. It's the bearding, and I use a lot of old expressions. I use like tin horn politician. My father would use that a lot. Makes a loud noise, but no quality inside. But bearding means that you use an organization in front of an organization to make you think you're doing something wonderful, but it's the ingenue thing. Right. You push the ingenue out, and the other people stay in the back. But Connecticut Hospital Association, which is a nonprofit supported by user fees of the hospitals, they pay for money for seminars and things like that, are sponsoring Unite Us Connecticut. Now, Unite Us Connecticut is, and if you read the website, you follow it to the Connecticut Hospital Association, and all these wonderful things we're doing. And it's all, quote unquote, the coordination of services, supporting people for what they need. And I'm walking out today, so I'm getting Kathy out the door because she had to go to Massachusetts. And I'm like, public housing was never intended to be a lifestyle, Lee Elci. Right. Public housing, when I was growing up, the kids that lived in the projects, they were ashamed. They're like, my father's putting money together for a down payment. Don't think any less of me. But the amazing thing is, here we are, moreover, we're running money, we're running state hospital money into a nonprofit. The nonprofit is paying this public corporation, which is part of the Lamont portfolio. The thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And if you like peanut butter, you'll love Skippy. Guess what, kids? There's a public offering out, Unite Us USA. Same players, same thing. Nobody says a word. It all speaks to this whole thing of we have no transparency. We're never going to improve in this state until we get transparency. And don't give me your political rap. It's becoming so familiar to me. I've been here too long. I've seen it. I don't know where to go. But I'll keep going.
Well, this is like the third or fourth one of these. I don't want to call it a shell company, but that's what it reminds me of.
A sham, a beard, whatever you want to call it.
That is associated with Governor Lamont. And yet, Tony, you've screamed about it. The Hartford Courant has written about it. It's gone in the day paper as well. And then it just kind of fades into nothing. Nobody nobody takes the ball and goes over the goal line. I don't understand this.
Well, I think it's back to snake in the box. If I start to complain about you, you're going to complain about me. And while this whole thing is happening, honest government, it's like, don't allude to bad things happening. Political parties deal with the actual issue. Nobody's willing to do that because there's warts all over the place. Clean the mess up. I'm tired of it.
You know what, Tony? You just made me think of something. So, we were talking about something weeks ago, and then later on in the day, I got a call from a legislator, someone who's not normally on the show with me, but they listen, and they said, "I heard you guys this morning. Is this something I should be concerned about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all right. I'm not even making this up." And I said, "Yeah," and then so I explained it again, off the air to this person, and I haven't heard anything about it since. But my sense was, it's too much effort, right? It's too much stuff there for me to sort of wade through and get to the bottom of it. That's almost the. I don't want to put words in the person's mouth because I didn't say it, but that was the feeling I got. But still, this has been almost a month and a half, and nothing has come of it. But can you? That's kind of what we got going on.
Well, but my cackle, is like, should they be concerned? Because basically, there's nothing to be concerned about if no one's willing to cut the artery and say this is where it's at. There is a fundamental problem, and again, I got to go back to basic sanity. When somebody in government can profit from what they do in government. We used to have a sense of decency about that, you had to govern, but you had to keep things away from you. But here, so what? It's just what I do. I'll just recuse myself from the vote. Well, recusing myself from the vote is going to make you differently, knowing what my relationship is.
Right.
Please.
I can't believe that the founding fathers envisioned that our politicians would be becoming millionaires. Again, on the backs of their constituents and the taxpayers and the deals that they make and the information that they have. I can't imagine that was the idea.
Well, I'm going to have, Kathy's the constitutional government freak. I'm going to have her take a look at that and say what exactly, because she goes down the articles and actually what they were saying. That is a curiosity to me. I will come back with that.
All right, buddy. I got to run. Thanks as always, Tony.
My honor, my pleasure.
All
Take
right,
care.
pal. Enjoy the week. I'll talk to you.